This video is on how to create a properly formatted APA references page. So once you've got to the end of your paper and you need to reference all of the sources that you've used, then that would be your references page. And the first thing to do when you get to the references page is, again, to make sure that it's in Times New Roman 12-point font. You also want to make sure that everything is done in 2.0 spacing, so double spaced. And just again, you can always check your layout just to make sure your margins are still at normal, 1 inch from the top, bottom, left, and right, and then you'll be ready to go with your references page. So the first thing that you can do is make sure that you center, and you're going to put your title as the word references with a capital R. Okay, you're not going to have it bolded or underlined. Again, following APA format, it's just going to be the word references. You're going to make sure your header is there as well. Okay, and then you can just enter down one space, and then you're going to make sure it is aligned left. Now, one thing that's very key with a APA references page is that all of your sources are in alphabetical order, and it's alphabetical order either by last name of the author that you're using or authors, or by the source title. So that is how you determine the alphabetical order. So we're just going to start with one today where it's 3 authors, and we're going to list them in the same order as they are in the article that we're referring to. So this is a published journal article, and they're listed as the author's last names Blake, Miller, and Crane. So we're going to make sure that we keep that same order when we're listing them. So the first one, we're going to do the author's last name, and then a comma, and then we're going to put their first initial. And it's not going to be their first full name or anything like that. It's always just the first initial for any author that you're putting on the references page. So then you're going to put a period and a comma, list the second author, again, a first initial, and a comma, and then an and sign, so the ampersand sign there, and the last author that's listed with a comma, L for his or her first initial, and a period. Now you're going to put the year that the journal article was published. So this one is 2010. You're going to put it in brackets and put a period at the end. And then we're going to list the title of the article. And again, this is going to be in sentence case, and we're not going to put it into italics or anything like that. When it's just a part, like an article in a journal or a chapter in a book, it's just in regular Times New Roman 12-point font. Now we're going to put the actual journal that we're using, that we got this article from, and that is actually going to be in italics. So we'll just write that next. Okay, and then we're going to put a comma. We're going to put the volume number, which this one is volume 100. That's also going to be in italics. Then we're going to click off of the italics button and put the issue number in brackets, and another comma, and then list the page numbers. And this is just a source right from the library that we've looked at. It's a hard copy, so we're just going to list the page numbers, and then a period. Okay, now we're going to go to the next author, and again we're going to follow in alphabetical order. So you can see we have Blake for the first one. This is just one author, but it's Cuthbert, so we're going to have that second. And again, this is going to be from a magazine, so if there is a specific date, you can list that here as well. This is March 17th, 2008, so we'll list the specific date. Again, just in normal font, writing the title of the article, and a period, and then we're going to make sure it's in italics, the actual source, which is Maclean's Magazine, comma, again the volume in italics, and then in brackets the issue number, and a comma, and this is also a hard copy source, so we're just going to put the page numbers. Okay, and then the last one for today is going to be one that doesn't have an author, so we're going to go by the source. So the source for this one is Foodshare, and we're going to make sure to put it again in alphabetical order. 2012 is the year, the period. We're going to list the title of the article as the third piece of information. Okay. And this is an online article, so then we're going to put the words retrieved from with a capital R, and then after retrieved from, you're just going to simply put the web address. Okay, so now we have our three references. So this one by Blake, Miller, and Crane, this one by Cuthbert, and this last one by the organization Foodshare. So now the next thing that we're going to do to make sure that this is in APA format is we're going to highlight all three of them. So you can wait till you have all your references done, and then you can either right-click on it and go to the paragraph setting there, or you can click up here where it says paragraph settings as well. So either one of those will get you where you need to go. So we'll just right click on it and we'll go to paragraph. And then in indents and spacing, you're going to go to special, this one right here, okay? You can see where I'm kind of circling it, and we're going to click on hanging. This is really important because it's a really easy way to format all of your references in APA style with a hanging indent, so you don't have to go and tab a bunch of times in or anything like that. So again, you're just going to go to indents and spacing, choose hanging, and then you're just going to hit OK, and you'll see what happens. And you can see all of your lines have moved in where they should. So in APA format, the first line of your reference always stays flush with the margin, and then any lines after that need to be indented. And again, that's a really easy way to do it, is just go under your paragraph settings and find the hanging indent option, as opposed to, again, if you tab things in, sometimes it won't stay. And luckily Word knows how to kind of set this up for us, so that's a really good way to do that. So that's everything as far as just a brief information about how to format your references.